Welcome back. We're halfway through this real-life illustration of overfitting. In part 6.2 we saw the results when optimizing 3 parameters. Now let's increase that to 5 and see the consequences of this in terms of over-optimization. So here we have the results for the second optimization that used 5 optimization parameters. And you can see the details of the additional 2 just here. So we've added 4 values for the number of periods for the filter and 4 values for the number of periods for the open signal. Now it's just worth stating that the values or the range of values that I've used for these is what I would consider to be a sensible range in order to exploit the initial premise that I always anticipated for this system. I know a lot of traders would go way beyond the range just to see if they could get a better performing system, but that doesn't make any sense to me because you're actually moving into the realms of different premises for systems by doing that. So you might have initially been targeting, let's say, a mean reversion system, and as soon as you start going beyond what the sensible values are for that, those indicators may well be giving you signals for trending systems, breakout systems, that kind of thing. So I always like to keep the range sensible in line with the target premise of the system in order to exploit that edge. Certainly run different optimizations with different values in order to find different systems, but not as part of the optimization for a specific premise. So you can see with these additional 4 for the filter and the additional 4 for the open signal, these now combine to give us 576 different parameter combinations, so significantly more than we had before. So taking a look at the chart now, the first thing that strikes us is that the relationship at first glance does not look as though it is as good as it was with the previous optimization. And so this is the first warning flag that maybe things have gone a little bit awry here with the optimization, and it points to the fact that we may have got some level of over optimization coming into play. But you'll notice that the chart is dictated really by these 2 outliers we have here. And if we take a closer look at these, we can see that this is the first one with a value of 712. And as you can see on the chart over here, this actually has a negative performance in the walk forward stage. And then we have this point here that did very well in the walk forward, but not so well in the optimization. And that's represented by this set of values down here on the left. So really, until we take these 2 outliers away, we won't get a true picture of what's happening for the vast majority of the points. So we'll do that in a moment. But before we do that, it's just worth noting that the sample sizes for both of these is extremely low. We only have 41 trades in sample for this point at the top of the chart and 38 trades for the point that lies to the right hand side of the chart. Now this is something that often happens when you concurrently optimize 2 parameters from the same indicator, and those values will often combine to give you very low sample sizes. And so this is the second warning flag that this optimization might not be everything that it appears to be because of the extremely low sample sizes in a lot of these parameter combinations. And what you also notice is that towards the top of the table here, you'll notice we've ranked in order of the optimization performance score, and at the top we've got an awful lot of parameter combinations that have very low sample sizes, and because they are so low, this is where random chance comes into play, and we have a much greater chance of having a lucky run of trades across a very small number, and so they rank far more highly in the performance. And so again, this is a characteristic that is warning us that our choice of values probably isn't as robust as it could be. So let's take away these two values from the chart so that we can take a closer look at the cluster of points here. So I'm just going to remove them on the filter, and then this one. Okay, so we can see the information now on the chart a lot better. So once we've taken those two away, you'll notice we have these two over here on the right hand side. Now if we were simply choosing the best parameters from the in-sample optimization, these are the two that we would be choosing, and as you can see, in relation to most of the others, these perform relatively poorly and probably wouldn't achieve great results if we traded those in our live account, because they haven't achieved great results in the walk forward phase. Now if we look at the R-square value of the linear regression for this now, we'll see that it's coming in at 0.08. So it's significantly smaller than on the first optimization. And it's about half the value that we had on the first optimization. So again, this is telling us that in terms of how these data points are distributed around that linear regression line, it certainly isn't as good a model as it was in the first optimization. So there again, we have a third warning flag that things haven't gone as well as they went with the initial optimization. But looking closer at the data for these 2 points on the right hand side, again we can see that both in the optimization and in the walk forward phases, the sample size is very low. So these results are not very trustworthy, and we'd be in a position here where we'd be trying to look down these results until we found something that was more substantial in terms of the sample size. So this one here, for example, and we can see that has produced a score in the walk forward of 2.8. So again, it's nowhere near as good as it was in the more simple optimization that we did with just 3 parameters. So no matter which way we look at the details of this optimization, it falls far, far short of what we achieved in the much more simple optimization using 3 parameters. And hopefully that gives you an illustration of why it's so important to keep the degrees of freedom of your system low in order to obtain both more statistically significant results, but also much more effective results in your optimizations. And the temptation is always to optimize more parameters because intuitively that's what you think should give you better results. But as I said before, that is not the case. All you're going to do is over-optimize and produce results that are not robust and will not make money in your live account. So clearly here we've only used one system, but I've done this before with many other systems and the results have always been very similar. Now in this illustration that I used, I went from optimizing just 3 to 5 parameters. If I'd gone higher to say 7 or 8, then the results would have been even more pronounced. What I do strongly suggest is that you try this out for yourself. It's one of those exercises that once you've done it and experienced the results for yourself with your own system, you'll never look at the optimization process in the same way again. It's an exercise that's well worth doing. Okay, so thank you for all of those who responded to my question last time. And based on the early feedback, it looks like it would be beneficial to share with you some of the coding techniques that I've been talking about during this series and film a few sessions a little earlier than I originally intended. So my next video coming out next week will be the first from the new MQL coding techniques series. And from this point onwards, I'll interweave episodes from the 2 video series, meaning that I'll show you the theory and then put this into practice with code. Note, however, that I'm not going to be teaching you to code. The new series assumes that you can do that already. What I will be doing is illustrating some of the more complex and advanced techniques that can be coded in order to add significant value to your process and your algos. The first video in the series will be how to code a multi-symbol EA. This will allow you to both backtest multiple symbols simultaneously in MT5, as well as trading multiple symbols from a single EA instance in your live account. But that's it for this week. I hope you found the illustration useful and informative, so please give some feedback in the comments below and also give me a thumbs up if you've got any value from it. And so until next time, trade safe.